No, I haven't been back. Yes.
All right. So recording has begun. Hold on one second here.
I'm just showing off because I have a speaker that works now.
Yes, you will.
Can I ask one more point of clarification here?
Please.
Most people have their names associated with their Zoom accounts, but I'm hoping I could get the full name of Mo.
Klein.
Okay, hello, nice to meet you. I'm
Nice
Michelle.
to meet you.
Hello,
All right.
and also Kim G.
Kim, what is your last name?
You have to unmute Kim.
Sorry about that. Kim Gales.
Thank you.
And then my mother, Patricia Chafee, is with me.
Okay. So I don't believe that we received minutes from the past meeting. So we are going to skip that part. And it is now time for privilege of the floor. And just for note, we are going to be reviewing 3 projects today. All 3 are minor subdivisions, and opening it up for privilege of the floor. Do we have any comments, or would anyone like to speak during privilege of the floor?
Got 45 minutes before our president addresses us.
Which one did they ask? Just a minute.
Well, we're asking really anyone that's present, anybody that's not associated with a particular project. So, all right, then we'll close privilege of the floor.
What is privilege of the floor?
So if you have a project here, then
Yeah.
when we come to that project, we'll ask you about it and you can talk about the project. Privilege of the floor really is for any members of the public that would like to make comments on the proposed projects.
I would like to make a comment on the proposed project
Okay. And would you
for
say-
Mr. Radenberg. And this is Kimberly Gales. And I welcome the division of the acreage of John Radenberg to our community. And for that matter, he could even divide to smaller lots and sell multiple lots besides the current division he is requesting if you would like, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Okay. And so let's move on to the first. Thank you for that. Let's move on to the first project because it sounds like you're referring to that. And do you represent?
I don't know the man.
I see. Okay. All right. Did you have anything further to say then?
No, I just think it would be a welcoming part to our community. I think that our community needs to have more houses built and or renovated and rejuvenated, whatever you want to call it. And that's just my opinion.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else for privilege of the floor? Otherwise, we'll close that portion. Okay, we'll move on. to
Wait,
our-
Linda has her hand up.
Okay,
I have my
sorry.
hand up.
Sorry. Go ahead and speak up. I didn't see that.
Oh, sorry. I'm John's neighbor to the north and kitty corner as well, John Rattenberg. And I just want to say that, can you show by any chance the property, the survey?
Yeah, when we
We're not there yet.
privilege of the floor, then we'll go to that.
Oh, okay. Are you going to give us time to talk then too? I thought you had moved on to the next topic. I'm sorry, Jeff.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm welcome for a refresher, but I believe that we, after we talk about the topic, public can make comments as well.
Okay, I misunderstood what you meant by moving on to the top.
Right, so just for clarity, this
Yeah.
is not an open public meeting about any of these projects. So,
Not
I
a
mean,
public hearing?
is this a, if
Yeah,
it is,
this is a public hearing.
okay, my bad, my
on all
mistake.
3 of them.
Okay.
Okay, my
Yeah.
mistake. Okay,
And please, like members of the planning board, please correct me if I'm wrong that, as we review each project, after we've reviewed each one, the public can speak on that. Is that correct?
My understanding is only if it's a public hearing.
The,
this is
the
the fir-
public here.
Right, so for the first one, it is, are all three public hearings?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
yeah.
All right. So then we will move on to the first project, which is 4190 Du Bois Road. It's a minor subdivision. The applicant is John Radenberg. And the description, the applicant proposes to split the existing 20.38 acre parcel into two parcels. Parcel A of 15.07 acres and parcel B of 5.31 acres. The property is within the AR, Agricultural Rural Zone. This is a public hearing for the subdivision review. This is an unlisted action under the secret. And I'm gonna share, is anybody here representing, or is Mr. Radenberger here? Okay. All right, well, allow me to, I'm gonna share my screen then.
Well, we didn't show.
Would
Uh-huh.
Pete, could you state for us where we are in this application?
Yes, so this is the initial public hearing for the minor subdivision. That's my understanding.
So it was advertised as a public hearing?
I mean, I'm going by the agenda.
Oh, so John Zepko is not available to us to clarify what he wrote.
He is not here tonight, right?
So I
I
also,
would say if a public hearing is supposed to be held, I thought it was supposed to be posted, and there was no posting down by that property.
I also felt like, I haven't seen these materials before. And, I'm like, we don't have some of the information we typically ask for. There's a stream that runs through the property. This map shows no location relative to the area. So I don't feel like we have the materials that we always ask for. So I'm kind of surprised we've jumped all the way to a public hearing without having actually seen these materials and asked for additional information, which is what the typical sequence is.
Right. I mean, these materials were sent out, I believe it was on the 26th.
But
Did
normally
you-
we talk about them in the group,
Right, right.
right?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
I have one other question. The other two items that we're working on, a seeker was supplied to us. I didn't find a seeker for Radenberg. That doesn't mean that they didn't do it, but I didn't find it. Do other people have a seeker completed for that?
I believe we do. Looking through here.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah. So you
I
didn't
may have
receive.
gotten lazy and just not gone that far.
Yeah, these were sent, I believe, on the 26th. They were in a Dropbox link. So is there a reason that we couldn't both do the review and the public hearing in the same meeting?
Well, I mean, typically, Pete, we have a chance, we get to review the materials and say, are there any additional materials that we want to see? You
True.
know, and in this particular case, we were given a simple plat without any context, or, I mean, I drove down there, looked at it, then I had to get on Tompkins County portal to try and figure out which property, you know, this is. And then there's a creek system that runs through the property and it's right near the boundary. So I feel like we were not really given the appropriate materials for this site to be evaluated.
If you just entered, could you please mute? So as far as whoever just entered, could you please mute. So as far as procedurally, you know, can we hold this public hearing, review these materials, ask for additional materials, you know, and have another meeting with those additional materials.
My question would be, one, that I don't know whether John advertised the public hearing.
I mean,
I do read the Ithaca Journal pretty regularly, and I don't remember seeing an announcement of a public hearing for a site plan review.
right. I mean, I did receive a letter. Let me just grab that. Hold on.
Just looking for clarification.
Yeah. So for clarification, I mean, I did receive a letter about the Perry City subdivision because I have property adjacent to that property. So I did receive, notice of public hearing dated February 25th for Perry City. And obviously I've looked at the property, but I haven't driven on all of the roads that surround it. So I don't know if it's posted physically with a sign there, like I believe it needs to be.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
No. And I know, so you're a property owner who will receive a letter,
Mhm,
but that's not the same as publicly advertising.
mhm, right. Okay.
By
Um,
the
so
by
I
the
guess
same-
what I'm- yeah. Go
By
ahead.
the same by the same token, having visited the property and having looked at all the material that was supplied, and now having looked at what you're zooming by me here with the seeker, it seems pretty straightforward. And I thought, if we're not violating something relative to the public hearing business,
Oh, yeah, but that's the question, John. We don't know. Nobody knows if there was a public hearing,
Yes,
if it was put
so
in the papers.
I just confirmed with Carissa
Mhm.
Parlato, the town clerk, that it was advertised and this is a public hearing.
Okay, good.
She just gave that information to me verbally over the phone.
Okay.
so so actually where we are right now is in the public hearing. That's where we should be, that Pete would open the public hearing, nobody would talk or somebody would talk, and then we move on from there. Is that right?
Right. But you're not yet in the public hearing
I
because
see.
he hasn't
Okay.
opened the public.
And I appreciate.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We should open the public hearing.
Wait, not yet, guys. I'm back out. Typically, we get to review the materials before the public hearing.
Mhm.
I agree. It seems very straightforward, but I'm looking at the materials. We did not get the proper tools to evaluate the property. There's a stream that runs through the property. It should be, there's a well and a culvert. And so normally we have a planning, we look at this materials, we decide what we need, we get those, and then we have the public hearing. That's how we've always done it. I'm not saying we can't, but I think you better make sure this is legit. Otherwise, it kind of might not work. It might not be appropriate.
So Michelle just confirmed with Carissa that it was advertised. And is there any reason that we couldn't then ask for those materials following this hearing, Rebecca, and review the materials following the hearing?
I
at
think-
another meeting.
You
Right,
could, let's open and close the public hearing.
Question. So, I do think, I do agree with John that if as it was advertised for tonight, we should hold it tonight.
Okay,
We don't
Go
have to
for it.
vote. We don't have to vote on it tonight.
right. So we're gonna ask for more materials when this is, it's just, this is,
We can do that. Yeah, we certainly don't need to vote. But if it seems like members of the public are here as well. With it being advertised, I feel like we should go forward.
so maybe, I would be comfortable getting the public input, but not reviewing like the secret and all until we have the appropriate materials. I'm not sure how we got to this, but this, we don't have the right,
Mhm.
I think we have all the information that is required for beginning the process of approval.
So why don't we hold the
Beginning.
public hearing and then we'll decide where to go from there. And just, as far as the public hearing, I do need some coaching on this. I apologize. As far as the public hearing goes, I would like to have the public make comments on
But Pete,
each property.
But
Yeah.
Pete, Rebecca's thing stands, because if you don't have all the materials, the public
Doesn't
would
have-
would also want to have the materials to
I see.
do a proper review in the public hearing. And if the materials aren't all here,
I see.
then you should wait until they are to have the public hearing, I think.
That's a good point, Rich. Yeah.
Peter,
Good point.
this is Mo.
Yeah, Mo.
The first thing you have to do is, do we accept the application as written?
Hmm.
That has to be a motion. So if nobody wants to accept the application, then it has to be tabled until we get the information.
I'll
Well,
move that we
yeah.
accept it.
Can we accept the motion and then ask for more? I mean, can't we accept the application and then ask for more materials?
Yes.
Yeah. So I
Yes,
don't.
but there is a time limit on it. Once you accept the application, there is a time limit.
It's enough days. We don't have to worry about it.
Is it 60 days, Mo?
I think it's 30 days. I'm not 100% sure. I would want to check on that. But
Maybe
once you
60.
accept an application, you have a time limit of so many days.
So
It could
here's
be
the question, though. If we don't accept the application, can we even review it then to ask for more material? Or do we need to accept it in order to review it to ask for the material that we want?
No, you can accept it. And then if there is more material, we can table it till the next meeting to get the information.
So I think that we should make a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
Pete,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm on the phone with Carissa, who has some clarifying points about the legalities around public hearings.
Mhm.
And I think it might be wise for her to hop on and explain what the options are. So she's in the midst of doing that.
Okay.
So I think that might be our best option.
All right. That's good.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up with you, Michelle.
Pete, would it be in your judgment that the papers you have in front of you and that you were showing to us is a complete application as recommended by John Zepko?
Yes.
Well, if it is a complete application, then let's move on it.
I think that's a fine idea.
We'll wait for Carissa to come on.
Let's wait for
Hi, I'm
Clarissa.
here.
All right.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you.
So I was just gonna suggest that you just don't adjourn the public hearing.
Mhm.
Keep it open, and that way that you can avoid having to go through the all the public hearings again.
Okay.
And people can still comment until your next meeting.
Is that called a continuance of the public hearing, or just to keep it open?
Goodness knows, Jesus Christ.
Sounds good.
Mhm.
What?
Jesus. Oh dear.
So could you please mute if you're a member of the public? Thank you. All right. So Chris, is there any problem with accepting the application as far as you can tell? I mean, it seems like you came on to provide a little input about holding a public hearing when we feel like we don't have all the information that we want. And I think it sounds like we have a solution that we could open the public hearing and keep it open and ask for more information.
So
I'm
the first thing we
curious
have to do is make a motion to accept the application before you can go any further.
I thought I made that motion. Oh, we're looking for a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, and that is on Du Bois Road. All in favor?
Aye.
Accepting the application? Aye.
I'm against it. Guys, we have a system. We made a list. If you recall, we have a list of what materials we expect to have in an application. And this plat, this single plat is not it. And so I feel like, and there's a reason we came up with that list of what information we needed. We've gone through this. It's every other year we come up with, we need this list. So I find this disrespectful of what this planning board has said is important for us to do our job. And so to say, oh, well, it's not convenient tonight, let's accept it. I mean, you're probably right. We will probably accept this subdivision, but to show up with a plat that shows no context, doesn't show the bigger area, doesn't show the streams like we asked, or the topography, the information we need to make decisions. I find that not acceptable, guys. We've been through this many times. And so, I mean, if we can continue to add information, I will let the process move forward, but I'm not accepting this as a complete application. It's incomplete.
And Rebecca, I think part of the point of accepting it is so we can talk about it and then ask for more information, like so we can ask for the additional information.
Normally we don't do it in this order, but okay, today I guess we're changing the order.
I think it's unusual to receive this application at the same time the public hearing is occurring. You know, that's unusual for sure. So as far as steps with this, Rebecca, do you want to?
Can you stop screen sharing? I can't see who's speaking.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So with the other actions that we're going to look at tonight, somebody did supply the subdivision checklist. I think that's what Rebecca is talking about.
Okay.
But I don't see that subdivision checklist with the Radenberg application. But I always think, well, maybe that's just me. So Pete, do you have a subdivision checklist for Radenberg?
Oh, so good question. Let me look. I do have it with the others. And no, I have the seeker and I don't have the subdivision checklist. Yeah.
So we're operating on the basis that John Zepko felt it was a complete application, I guess. Otherwise, he wouldn't have sent it on. So
That was my impression.
and my other question would be to Rebecca. Well, what is it that you think is missing from an initial application?
So, I mean, and it's probably because I always focus on the environmental issues, but there is a stream, actually 2 parts of the stream that come together on that property, right close to where the property boundary is, but it's hard to tell. I'm working from the Tompkins County Stream Information, their geoportal. And so typically we would have the stream dotted line on the site. We would see where that fits relative to the property boundary. So we could make sure there's enough of a setback. That information is not there. Also, I mean, for me to have to go find the site, you know, it's like the map should have the bigger context. And usually we get topo lines, you know, information to show us slopes and things like that. So,
Right.
I mean, we have a reason for each of these pieces. The stream is the one in this case where it's a small stream, but it starts off the property on the western property and comes on, goes right by what looks like the boundary. It looks like maybe they're using that as a boundary. I can't quite tell because I don't have the overlay. So that's the information I will be looking for at the next time we meet to make a vote on this, okay? I want complete information that we normally do. I don't know whether John overlooked it or just didn't see it, but you know, this is why we have a planning board, to review the information, and that's why we have a checklist.
So the funny thing is, though, that the actual action that we're about or could take is to simply separate off a chunk of property around an existing house and leave the rest of the property. So I'm curious as to where the streams end up. I suspect that they may end up actually in the pond in Jacksonville. I'm not sure, but I just don't know what difference it makes in relationship to a simple subdivision action like this, setting off a residential property of 11, or whatever the acreage is, 11 acres, I think.
Well, I think you're looking at a different one, John. I think 11 acres is McKeel. We're looking at Radenberg. No, I'm sorry, we're looking at Du Bois.
I'm
which is
looking at
Redwood.
McKeel's. You're right.
Which is
I'm
Redwood.
sorry.
That's a
So,
different, it's a different. approach.
I got completely off base.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I agree with Rebecca that, you know, if the applicant, you know, if there's more that she wants to see, and, you know, we have this checklist, I think it's very fair to ask for what's on the checklist.
So, you know, typically we look for setbacks, like where's the septic system and is it close to the line? Those are the kind of things we, you know, typically have to work with. So I know it's just a simple subdivision. We probably will just say, sure, this is fine. But there's a reason we have we request the materials because that's where we kind of figure this stuff out. Today it was all snowy. It wasn't real easy even to look at the site. I'm willing to move forward because keeping the public comment period open allows them also to see additional material. And then I'll say before the end of today, I'll say we need to have a better set of information about streams, topography, and other relevant information.
That sounds good. So as far as next step on this goes, and you know, please feel free to tell me if I'm wrong here, but I would, you know, I would like to open the public comment hearing on this. Can we get a motion to do that?
Make a
Sure.
motion, yes.
Can you get a second? Can we get a second?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, we
Me
did.
and
Okay.
Rodney.
All right.
Rodney and I both did.
Okay, all in favor of opening the public comment period?
Aye.
Let's road. Aye. Okay. Is there anyone here that would like to make comments from the public about this minor subdivision at the Boyce Road? Yes, Linda.
Yes, okay, thanks. I guess I was hoping that, well, I'm surprised that John isn't here. Don't we have the opportunity to ask the owner of the property to make comments too, or answer questions?
I mean, if they
If
show
they don't
up, but he's
Yeah,
not.
well, I know. I thought typically, okay. Well, anyway, the whole only thing that I wanted to say, you know, although I would have had some questions for John, but is that I don't know about the water flowing on that end of the property, but that we would support the subdivision as is, without knowing whether there's, you know, water issues or not, but that we would support that subdivision. It makes sense. It's a pretty little piece of property, and I've always thought that they were going to do something like that with it. So, and it makes sense. That's my comment.
Any other comments during this public comment period?
Yes, I will just reiterate, this is Kimberly Gales. I welcome the division of acreage and to our community. And for that matter, he can divide it up even further into more lots and sell them to further enhance our community.
Okay, thank you. So I'd like to keep the public comment period open until the next meeting. I don't believe we need to vote on that. I'd like to turn to the board, and Rebecca, would you like to formally present what it is that you would like for prior to the next meeting? And you're muted.
All right, thanks, Pete. Yeah, before the next meeting, I actually would like to have a revised sketch plan of the division with showing the location of the creek and the topography like we always ask for. If there is a septic, because of I think the house, I can't quite tell. It might be useful to see where the septic system for the existing house is relative to that border. I can't quite tell if that's close enough or not to be an issue, but you know, normally it might be. If again, I can't quite tell where that border is going to be. So an improved sketch plan is what I'm asking for with
That would
more
include
information.
Topography and water information. Okay.
And let me just look at this distance. I don't know, guys, can you tell about how far the house is from the proposed border? Does it look like we have to be concerned about the septic system? The well is right there. Do we have to be concerned about the septic system being close to the property edge at all for setbacks?
I mean, it's hard to know where where the septic system is.
Right, so normally we do get that. John, any thoughts on that?
My question is, it looks to me like John Zepko got the cart before the horse and got into this public hearing business. Because we've never talked about this property before, right?
That is true.
So we're really in the sketch plat stage.
Right.
And what Rebecca's looking for is spelled out in, oh, God knows, 212, 142, something or other, where there should be some mapping or aerial photographs and things that show all that stuff.
Mhm.
And it's not the applicant's it's not the applicant's fault that it's not there. It's our fault that somehow our system is not working right to get the information the way it should be delivered to us, the board that's trying to act on it.
Right. Prior to the hearing. Yeah, I understand.
And we're all trying to be patient.
Mhm, mhm. You know, with that said, I mean, I would like to ask if any other board members have comments on this property, and if not, to table this to the next meeting.
I suspect the Radenbergers and their relatives are not going to be digging holes in the ground for a little bit anyway. It is too bad that they're not here or haven't been advised. It may even say something that I can't find it in our zoning law, that when the sketch plat comes, that the applicant should also come with it. I don't know if they were told that or not, who knows?
Right.
I just wanted to add, he delivered that application to my office and was hoping for it to be processed pretty quickly. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why he's not here, but I know that he was hoping for it to happen pretty quickly.
Peter,
Yeah.
Mrs. Mo,
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to leave the public meeting open,
Mhm.
get the information that Rebecca wants, and table this till the next meeting.
Can I get a
Second.
second? Yeah.
What's
All in
that?
favor? All in favor? Aye.
I,
All right. Thank you, Mo. The next item on the agenda tonight is Perry City. And I would like to make a motion, or I would accept the motion to accept the application. It does include the subdivision checklist.
Since I'm a little slow, obviously, which of the other two are you going in order?
This is Perry City, so I'm going in order on the agenda. Yeah, so this is 1312 Perry City.
It's like a no-brainer to me.
hang on, I gotta get the materials up. I just closed them accidentally.
And it has a seeker, and it does have the aerial map.
Mhm.
And yeah. So I'd accept a motion to accept the application.
Hang on, give me 1 minute, please. I
Yeah,
just
no problem.
accidentally closed my, Perry City, there it is. Yeah, they gave us a topo map. Yep, I mean, the photographic map showing location, and all they're doing is cutting off that one piece. Yeah, there's nothing else that I need for that one.
Okay, okay. So do I hear a motion to accept the application?
I'll
So
make a
moved.
motion to accept the application.
Do I have a second?
Sure.
Second,
All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All-
I would accept a motion to open the public hearing for,
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
do I have a second?
yeah, me.
Okay, all in favor, sorry, I'm looking at the map. All in favor, say aye.
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 Are there any members of the public here that would like to comment on the minor subdivision of 1312 Perry City Road? The lot at Perry City.
This is Kim Gales. I would like to motion or whatever you want me to say. Again, going back to welcoming new people into the community. And
How big's the property?
how big is the property?
Yeah, that they're going to section off.
How big is it? How big is the property that you want to section off?
3.4 acres.
Thank you.
Okay. And is there anyone else here that would like to make a comment during this public comment period? on
Yes,
one
I
through-
would.
Okay. Yes.
Uh,
go ahead.
Barbara Adams, yeah.
Barbara.
I've attended meetings in person, but never one online. And the thing is that you folks have access to materials that we don't. Is there any chance that you could put that map on the screen so we could see
Absolutely.
exactly what's,
Yeah. All right. Can you see that, Barbara?
somewhat, yeah. So can
Oh.
you point to what is being debated?
This
So
chunk right here.
yeah, this piece of 3.4 acres has a house on it, and it's being subdivided from, hold on here. I'm gonna show you over here on the aerial map.
Yeah,
So you can see that this is the piece right here that's being subdivided from the rest of the parcel.
and what is the building already on it?
So this is a chicken, I think it's an egg laying facility.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's what's being
and-
sectioned
well,
off?
and there's a house here. So they're looking to subdivide this portion, which has a house, off from the rest of the parcel of this farm here.
Okay, so if I can, I'm sorry, I'm a little thick here. So in other words, right now, those things that are outlined in blue all belong to the same property,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So it's just saying the ones that are on the opposite side of the road, and that's Perry City Road there,
Yep.
becomes a separate unit,
Right.
correct?
Yep.
And it's very near my house, which is why I'm asking.
Mhm.
So who are then the owners of both of those properties?
Oh,
And Philly and the Houghtons.
yeah.
What?
Go ahead, John.
And Philly and the Houghtons.
And the Houghtons own both.
I believe so.
Currently, they're one.
Okay, but then the one that's sectioned off, who will own that?
I mean, it remains the same owner. So the owner is basically taking their one piece of property and dividing it into two separate tax parcels. And that allows for, we don't know what their plans are, and our purpose tonight is not to approve any future plans. It's simply to, approve or deny a subdivision. And so, typically people, when they subdivide, it's because they want to sell, but sell that piece that they're subdividing off. But we don't know what their purpose is for subdividing.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Any other comments from the public on the minor subdivision? Then I'm gonna make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Could we get a
Second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
I,
And to members of the planning board have comments or questions or additional material they'd like to receive as part of this application?
I don't see any problem with it. They're not going to be building anything. It's just removing the house from the farm.
Mhm.
Mhm. Okay. So if there are no further comments from the board, I'm just looking to see if John provided us with a resolution.
Did I hear you say John did provide you with a?
I'm looking to see if he did.
I think what we're all reacting to is that John seems to be pushing the envelope more than he used to. In other words, you would have a sketch plan meeting, you would raise questions, you'd look to see you have a complete packet, and then you would schedule the public hearing. I think that's what Rebecca's reacting to, and I guess I'm beginning to react the same
Right.
way. I
And
don't
so-
quite understand why he's pushing it that way.
And
Thank you, John, that's exactly it,
Yeah.
especially when we don't have all the materials and stuff.
Right.
Public,
I'm not sure. I mean, John is part-time. He's doing other things. It would be better if he were here to explain some of his rationales, but you
Yeah.
know, it seems to me, you know, rather than, I mean, we're hanging up the people who want to do the subdivision. I'm not entirely sure, frankly, whether all of the information is there. We just haven't seen it, particularly the missing items. But, you know, I rather hate to hang up the transaction and blame John for it when in fact he's overworked and probably doing 2 or 3 jobs.
all right, so I totally, look, John's great, and he does, Zepko's great, and he does a really good job, and he's knows his stuff. But we have a process, and in part, like you just had a public hearing, suppose there was things that we needed to say, oh, that's a problem. We have to deal with that. The public hasn't been given the same information. There's a reason for this sequencing and why there's a number of days. So, I mean, there's a number of days that you are allowed to do this analysis, and then the person gets the permit automatically. So, I mean, the amount of time it takes is what it takes, and there are rules to protect the people applying. This is not about us rubber stamping everything that comes by us. That is not our job. So,
Rebecca, what additional information would you want to see on? Because I know what we're all feeling like, oh, wait a minute, suddenly we're here and we, you know, we haven't, the normal process hasn't been followed, and that's surprising all of us. I would like to know though, what additional information on the Perry City minor subdivision would you like to see?
on the Perry City one, I'm fine. I'm going with it. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's,
okay.
I mean, they gave us a map and they gave us the aerial imagery to tell where everything is. It's fine.
All right.
But it's still, I mean, we have a system and it's really good. I really respect the role of the planning board, which is to really carefully assess the information, identify where the gaps are. That's the reason there's a sequence. The first is the sketch plan review. Then you decide if a public hearing is necessary. We make sure that way we actually come to the public hearing and we're informed.
Right.
We're ready to have the conversation with the public. All of us are sitting here while the public's sitting there. We're looking like we don't even know what we're doing. That's not right, guys. So, I mean, John's busy, but there's a reason for the process. And, you know, I'm uncomfortable with how this is proceeding.
And Rebecca, I agree with you that the process should be followed, and I'm going to talk to John and see, you know, what happened, but also just sort of, you know, in the future, we want this to go the way that it normally goes and not like this. I feel the same way.
So for this particular application, can we ask ourselves, if we had followed the normal procedure and had a sketch plan meeting, would we have come up with a lot of questions that we would have wanted answered? And then would we, now knowing what we do know and knowing that some of the public that are adjacent to the property have given us their comment, should we hold up approval of this application, or can we move forward on it?
Okay, as long as, Clarissa's telling us that, yes, it was advertised, that all three of these have been advertised, that we are legally allow people to give information. So we're not going to get caught where people go, wait a minute, you didn't give, I mean, we have people saying we don't even have access to these maps and figures. I thought we actually tried to provide those on the web for the people, for the public. I'm not sure how that's normally handled. If we are legitimate for this particular case where we have a pretty solid package, I would say, yes, we can move forward. Again, was it advertised sufficiently? I don't know. You know, how we normally handle in Zoom times, getting materials to the public.
So here's
So
another
just
question.
looking at this application, if I'm not out of order, I would move approval of it. Having looked at the seeker and having visited the property, I'm comfortable that it's something that we could move forward, and I would make that motion.
Actually, John, so my other question, and this might be, as far as the resolution to approve this application, there's not a resolution that's been written, and I'm not sure if our resolutions have to be written in a certain way and contain certain language to be acceptable. And that's a question, that I would pose to Michelle or
Yeah, it's interesting.
the planning board members or
So historically, the chairman or members of the planning board would actually create the resolution. And what we slipped into in the bureaucracy that we've created, we've begun to rely on the resolution being written by the planner, and now we don't have a planner, and so we're kind of marking time.
So question, is it acceptable to write a simple resolution such as, minor subdivision of 1312 Perry City Road, as outlined in the application submitted and reviewed upon March 1st, 2022 is hereby passed. Like, would that meet the town's needs for a resolution?
I think it is, except I hate writing resolutions by committee. And so, although I've heard what Rodney said about, well, no, on this particular property, I suspect Ann is not in a huge rush. So maybe we should simply wait for a week and have the resolution written for us and presented at the next meeting, and plan on having a meeting in 2 weeks.
Well, then I'll make a motion to table this one, keep the public open until we have a resolution that we can use.
I'll second that, Rodney.
Now, that was low, but okay.
Before we vote, I want to call on Michelle. Michelle, go ahead.
Just for clarity's sake, the public comment or the public hearing was already closed. It was voted on. So just to clarify that. And
Thank you,
I think it is wise. Yep. I think it is wise to wait on the resolution verbiage. My guess is that there is a specific format that's needed. And it doesn't appear that there were resolutions. I just confirmed with Carissa, it doesn't appear that she has resolutions either. So.
And we should probably pass approval of the seeker. And we haven't actually done that.
I will revise the motion to just table it until the next meeting, till we have a resolution written.
Can I get a second?
Yeah, I seconded that a long time ago.
All in favor of tabling this one?
Aye.
Linda had her hand up. Is she allowed to still give comments?
Linda, you're on mute.
Well, I mean, Linda, are you allowed to give comments? Because it's the public.
No, I'm not
comment
making a comment. I'm just making a suggestion. The resolutions, I used to write the resolutions myself, but it's just copying them. But you do have to have the seeker part of the resolution as well as the resolution to do the subdivision. So it's not easy. It would be hard to do on the fly if you tried to do one right now. Yeah.
Thank you, Linda.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to the third public hearing in our trifecta of public hearings tonight. We are going to be looking at 3250 McKeel Road, minor subdivision. And I'm seeing a map before me, and it's fairly simple map. I don't see an aerial photograph. I do see the seeker.
Yep.
And I do see the subdivision review checklist.
Yep.
Do people, does members of the board feel comfortable accepting this application minus the aerial photograph.
I have a question about it.
Yeah, please.
All right, so this is the what where they're trying to separate out the parcel where this giant cell tower is.
Mhm.
So are there setbacks from the cell tower and have they been met by the location of these lines?
It's a great question.
Could you repeat that question?
Yes, there's a cell tower located in the second parcel that's being subdivided off. Parcel
in the-
1.
It looks like it's in the same parcel that's being subdivided off.
Correct. But the point, my question is, now that they're trying to separate that out from parcel 503-689-24-2-6, there's probably a setback around cell towers. And that's looks at it right here, like it might be very close to the boundary line. So I was asking, what is the required setback from a cell tower? You know, I'm sure there's like a radius of, you know, protection or a buffer around the cell tower. And we probably need to check on that to make sure, because you can even see, it looks like those, I don't know what the pins are that are sticking out there.
Yeah.
May-
yeah, that's interesting.
Right, it might have to change the location of the line if it actually is within that buffer for the cell tower, but I don't know what the buffer is.
You know, Rebecca, I'm thinking that if we accepted the application and opened the public hearing and kept it open and also tabled this until we had resolutions, we could also ask for a more detailed map, including setbacks.
Okay,
Well, actually, if Michelle is good at manipulating our zoning material, she might find what those setbacks are. But I think the idea of simply holding off until the next meeting, the same way as we're holding off on the previous one, makes, just apply Mo's resolution to this one, and
We
see
need
you
to,
all next week.
well, we need to open the public hearing, John.
Pardon?
We need to accept the application and open the public hearing.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the application.
Get a second?
Yes.
All in favor? Aye.
I,
Can you get a motion to open the public hearing?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second?
Sure.
All right, all in favor? Opening the
Aye.
public hearing? Okay. Public hearing is open. And are there any members of the public that would like to make a comment at this time?
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
No, we're not closing it.
No, we keep it open,
Yeah, because we're gonna ask, yeah.
but I'll make a motion to table it to the next meeting.
Can I get a second?
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And members of the board, what comments do you have, or what additional materials would you like to request?
This one seems pretty complete, except for that question Rebecca raised.
yes, I want to know the buffer around it. I don't have my map up right now. Hang on, I'm trying to head.
And also,
think it's
Peter, we
fine.
need a resolution for this one too.
Yes, we do. Yep.
I don't know if there's a creek on that or not. Since it's open, since the public hearing, I can't get my maps up that I made. Then if I find that something else is missing, I'm gonna bring it, I'll send it as an email to you, Pete.
Yeah,
That, oh,
yeah.
I see there's a stream there. We need to clearly know where that is. I'll let you know. That's the only thing. I can't find my map.
Oh, and an aerial photo.
An aerial photo, okay. All right, so that's what we're asking for. And just to clarify for Barbara Adams, as far as the public accessing these materials prior to a public hearing, you know, I've heard that they're accessed online. The public hearing would be advertised, you know, through signs, through mailings to the property owners that are adjacent. Is there anywhere else that the public can access the materials other than on the town's website?
If somebody was in the office at the town hall, then the public could always go there. But again, we don't have somebody in that office in the town hall.
Okay. Okay, all right.
Linda has her hand up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Linda.
I don't think because I got notification of it, I don't think there is any place that you can go online to get the documents, which would be a nice feature.
Yeah, I thought I'd heard
Yeah.
somebody say that they were available online.
Where? It's
On the
not,
town website.
The agenda for tonight is available online, but the documents not. You would have to actually go in and look up every tax property map or
Yeah.
something.
we're told to go to the town hall and get the information, and I just got the notice today, so that would be tough to do.
So did I, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
right. The mail isn't a friend right at the moment.
I see. Yeah, I'm just looking at what I got in the mail as well to see. And no, that would be a nice addition
Yeah.
to the town.
So- Also, that I didn't realize you just got this today, Linda.
Yeah.
There's some time frames where we'll have to check with Zepco, John, about it, but you're supposed to have X number of days before the public hearing to review those materials. You shouldn't be getting them today and then the public hearing today. So we
think it's
really,
Yeah.
I think it's 10 days.
right, so we
Yeah, it
really
is
do.
10 days.
Yeah, and I did receive this letter was the letter that I got was mailed the 25th, which is obviously it's not 10 days.
Yeah.
So, right, so we really, I mean, we're supposed to, there's legal reasons to follow these timelines.
Right.
And so,
Agreed.
I mean, so maybe, all right, that's enough.
All right, so I would accept a motion to table this application until the next meeting when we can have the materials that we've requested.
We already did that.
We already did the motion to table it.
Yeah, to table it and keep the public meeting open.
That's what we all voted on.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I
Thank you.
have on my end is that there was a motion and all in favor to table until the next meeting, but unlike the first agenda item, there wasn't a vote to keep the public hearing open.
Okay, all right, so those are the two that I confused. So could I get a motion to keep the public here? Thank you, Michelle. Could I get a motion to keep the public hearing open?
Yes,
In
I'll
second,
make the motion.
All right. And for what it's worth, I found the map. There's one, possibly two
Second.
streams that goes, oh, sorry, my bad.
all in favor of the motion to keep the public hearing open?
Yeah.
All right,
And yes, I want a topo map with streams on it because there's
Yeah.
two streams that run right through the property.
okay, all right. So our next meeting for this will be scheduled in 2 weeks over Zoom unless the governor or the town, unless the governor declares otherwise and the town.
So Pete, I have a question.
Let's go ahead.
It seems to me this is a recurring meeting. And so my computer is telling me that the same access number to Zoom is used over and over and over again, right?
It's a number, yeah. I needed a password. That was the problem.
I just am reacting that in some previous meetings, people have said, I don't get the notice or something, and they wanted to know what the access number was, but it just keeps repeating itself.
It's on the town website. So that's where I would direct people to go. Be the town website if there's members of the public that want to join.
I'm sort of following that.
So if you're directing members of the public, John, to access the meeting, I would direct them to the town website to join the meeting.
Well, it's more than
It's on the
that.
planning board agenda.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we get it in the email and it's on the agenda. Yeah.
So this meeting was advertised online at the town's website. And I'm not, since I don't need the access Zoom number from, is it there? Can the public look there
On the agenda.
Yeah, on the
on the
planning. board.
agenda? It's posted, okay.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for making it through this meeting, and I appreciate your patience. We'll try to get these kinks worked out so we're not in this situation again where we're suddenly finding ourselves in a public hearing.
I
And
will make a motion then to close the meeting.
thank you.
Michael Boggs has his hand up, guys.
Michael Boggs, please, go ahead. Wait. Michael, are you muted?
He's muted.
You're muted, Michael.
Yeah, I lost the screen, sorry.
Okay.
So in response to Rebecca's question, what I would recommend you guys do is look at our code 212-46, and it has standards for towers.
Okay. Thank you, Michael.
And that was a good question. That was a good call on Rebecca's part to make sure you've got the proper fall zones and such for that subdivision.
Great, thank you.
Thank you all.
Yep, thank you.
All right,
And
so, yeah,
Thank you. I want to thank you. I know I was sounding pretty kind of stressed out about it, but I appreciate you doing this. It takes a ton of work to lead these things. And honestly, and I don't want that job. So I really appreciate that you're doing it and working through us through this. Okay.
well, and Rebecca, I really appreciate you keeping us, sticking to our protocols. So all in favor of adjourning the meeting?
Aye.
Thank you very much. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And thank you to our temporary secretary for taking notes.
Thanks, Michelle.